Okay, at this stage here, we have something very, very, very important, which is when you ask questions and when you build your rapport with the client. This is such an important part of the business. Okay, so when you speak with your clients, when every time you are letting the client talk and every time you're like not directly on the straight line, but you are within the boundaries, this is what's happening. You're always building rapport, you're making rapport more and more, and you must remember that rapport is something that can go up and down, and it's not always the same, okay? So it goes up and down depending on the situation, depending on the different kind of things, okay? Now, to build rapport, you use active listening. You're always prompting the client to understand where they stand. You listen, you go with the yeah, I understand. So it's very clear that you're really interested in what they have to say, okay? And then periodically, when you talk about like your product, when you talk about the situation where you're moving them down the straight line, periodically, normally about each two, and I will tell you more with the script, but each two features plus benefits, you always need to check in with the client to see if they're still on board, if they're still in rapport with you. So you could be like, my fast track to better sleep for insomnia is going to give you 3 different meetings one-to-one with me. And this is the feature. This is important so we can check up with your situation. You can ask me questions and make sure you're doing everything correctly, because when you do everything correctly, the quality of your sleep will improve. Okay? So as you can see, this is one point. Plus, I'm giving you also like my favorite like checklist where you're gonna go through this checklist every time you go to bed to make sure you've done all the right steps that will allow you to sleep. This is important so you can look at the checklist, understand, oh, I forgot to do this, which is a very important integral part of your sleeping process. You can just go, do it, and enjoy a better night of sleep. And this is the second feature plus benefit. Then I ask the client, is everything clear so far? Okay, which tonality will I use when I ask that? Is everything clear so far? Okay, and you're gonna recognize what I say. Sounds fair enough? Okay, same tonality, right? It's the reasonable person tone. And you hear what they have to say. If they say yes, you can go to the next feature and the next benefit. If they don't understand or if you're losing the rapport, then you answer the question, you explain it again, you make sure everything is working, everything is clear, okay? Now, what's the other part that you do every time you're not on the straight line? You're doing the intelligence gathering, okay? And to do it correctly, because there will be a point where you have to ask difficult questions about medications, about their budget, about how painful it is, the situation, what's costing them emotionally, what's costing them with their family. So it's not simple, right? But when you have the right tone, and which tonality do you have when you ask this kind of question? Do you remember? Yeah, is that I care about you, or you can even use, in some cases, I really want to know. Like you normally use I care about you, the empathy tonality, when you ask questions related to the pain, to the misery of their disease. And you can go with, I really want to know, when it's like positive. Do you hear in my voice the difference? One is like, so John, tell me more about your last night where you said you could not sleep. And John talks like, oh, how does it make you feel like today? How do you feel today? You see, this is the voice. Or as opposed to like, I mean, John, what would be the first thing you will do once you can finally start to sleep in a better way? You see, it's a completely different like strength and it's a completely different excitement. It's like all different, okay? This is used by the use of tone, the tonalities, and the order of the questions, okay? It's important that you follow the script. It's important that you know the script by heart. Why? Because some questions, you can ask them right away. Some questions You cannot ask them right away. You need to ask them at the right time, in the right moment, after the right situation. Why? Because as human beings, we normally become accustomed to answering questions after a while. So normally it takes like 3 or 4 questions, and then it becomes normal for you to answer. But if someone starts and asks you, can you tell me how much money you have in the bank right away? He'll be like, no, I'm not going to tell you that. But if it is like if it's like the 5th question, with someone we are in rapport with, you're probably going to answer, or at least you're going to consider answering. I think for the 5th question, that's not enough. But if it's the 10th one, after we have established I can be your financial person, we have established that this could be working for you, we have established a lot of interesting things. At that stage, I may ask you this question here. And the beauty is that you probably will answer. That's the beauty of the situation, okay? So the tone and the order of the questions, it's very, very, very important, okay? Now, in the next, we're going to start to describe the script. So we go through the script, I tell you everything, I tell you the various tonalities, we go through everything, so don't worry about it. I will give you some rebuttals, some things that you can say. For now, I will see you in the next video. For now, have a good day. Bye-bye.